Get out the insurance cards, get out the copays. The office is open, my friends. Brought to you by drroto.com.
Hey there, everybody, it's Dr. Roto. Get out the insurance cards, get out the copay. The office is open, my friends. It's Friday Night Lights with my friends Willie Walls and the great Swami Odell Blocker. Now, Swami, I need you to know this. I got a phone call last Sunday night at my house. It was Anthony Richardson who said, "Tell Swami never to doubt me again."
Doc, some of these guys play well. They didn't play well enough for us to just start taking them at their word. I'll say it that way.
Look, you can fight with A-Rich if you want. I'm not going to. He's a big dude, so I'm going to avoid it.
Does this week, Doc. Let's see what he does this week.
Willie Walls, how are you, my man? You good?
I did. Yeah, I played Anthony Richardson last week. I thought he might show up. So he did a pretty good job. Now I don't know about this week going against who he's going against this week, but hey, listen, he played better. That's what you wanted to say. I think him getting sat down like that and being embarrassed, I think that, made him go back in the shop and work a little bit. So
Right. Totally agree with that. All right, let's get started, guys. The New York Giants minus Daniel Jones. And I, for one, am not going to miss him. I'm sure he's going to end up being the Cowboys quarterback or the backup somewhere. They played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Willie. There's some pieces here, including Tommy Cutlets, who's only 4K, but they didn't throw the ball a lot last year with Tommy Cutlets. So do you take the 4K? Do you play Neighbors? Do you play Tracy? Do you bring it back with Irving and Evans? There's a lot of pieces, but maybe not a lot of points.
It won't be a core play, but I am going to take a chance when I play him one time, put him up with Neighbors, his best guy, and maybe run it back with Evans, Irvin or something like that. Because it's worth the shot, because Tampa Bay is one of the worst pass funnels in the NFL. But again, it's Tommy DeVito, and he sucked last year, and he probably still sucked this year. So, but I think it's worth one shot, but it's not a core for me.
Swami, there's a lot of, if you go DeVito, which I know you don't hate this week, you can afford a lot of things you may like. So can he get us 15, 16 points to keep us in the game in order to cash and be your rich friend?
He probably can, Doc. Obviously, it's like when we zig, they zag, and when we zag, they zig. And so even when, these weeks, and I always say this to Willie, when you're patting yourself on the back because you got one of these wild plays to work, it's still that same week. Don't forget, it's a Jared Goff who's making that play irrelevant. So even when we're taking these wild chances with these guys like Vito, I'm concerned, is it going to be somebody on this slate that we don't see that's going absolutely nuts and going for 35 plus points?
What about Mike Evans? What about Bucky Irving? What about Rashad White? What about Kate Otten? I know Willie mentioned Neighbors. I can get behind Evans. I think Evans is a pretty good spot. I think he's, Permar is just literally saying it as Evans going to be underowned. This is going to be, he's in a good spot, except you got that wind going on there. I can see that maybe preventing long bombs, Swami. I think I'm in on Evans. Are you in on anybody?
I'm not mad at Evans, assuming that he's healthy. Obviously, just coming back, like you like to say, Doc, you like to try to get in early. So I'm not mad at that play. I think White's a man of interest. Otten, I think he's still going to be involved. And then on the other side, Tracy, I mentioned, maybe even Johnson at tight end. He's been, a part of the game plan lately. Can he keep it going with DeVito coming in? And then I would even say Mr. Slayton, if we thinking DeVito's going to be throwing it around, he could become a man of interest. Again, these are more GPP plays. I think it's going to be some points in this game. So I like it, Doc. I do. I got some interest here.
All right, Willie. Detroit and Indianapolis. You said before you weren't sure about Anthony Richardson. I'm going to tell you something here, Willie. I'm sure about Anthony Richardson. I'm surely going to play him in one lineup this week. I will. And I'm going to bring it back with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who and I know you know this stat, he kills cover 3 defenses, and that's what the Colts like throwing out there. I do a little Richardson, come back with St. Brown, boom. What are you thinking, Willie, about this game?
I mean, it's not a bad shot. I mean, it's not a bad shot. But he's also throws 6 interceptions in cover 3 too. So let's keep that in mind. That I know he's hitting 77% of his passes against cover 3. Yes, but he's also thrown 6 interceptions in cover 3. So, and I think a lot of that was in that Texas game, where he had those interceptions. So he's definitely a man of interest, and Amon St. Brown is definitely he kills this team. So I'm not mad at the play, but also let me say this. I mean, the Colts defense is not that bad. They're playing a little better, and but if I had any interest in anybody on here, it would definitely be Amon St. Brown. For Detroit. Because I don't know about the running backs are priced up, and they split and carry, so I don't want to do that part, but I do like the receiving core in this game.
Swami, the Lions put the pedal on the metal and they didn't let up last week. It was ugly. It was like Dan Campbell hates Doug Peterson, literally hates him to do what he did. Are you in on the Lions? Are you in on the Colts? What are you doing
here? I think the Lions could do it again this week. And just like Willie said, because of the prices, it's hard to probably say for sure I want this piece. But I think you could, shake the dice and figure out a piece or two on the Lions side. I still think the backs on play, even though they're priced up. And again, I'm not mad at St. Brown. I probably have a little bit more interest in maybe a Williams or Laporte. I just feel like St. Brown had it last week. But again, I'm not mad at St. Brown. But on the other side, Doc, Jason Richardson, even Sally Richardson, I'm more interested than I am that rascal against that Detroit defense. It is that I'm just more impressed with the way that Detroit is playing the game than I am with the way that he's playing the game. And again, if he can keep getting down there and touchdown vulturing Taylor when Taylor should get it at the 1, then we get these inflated stats from him at the end. Sure, but I'm just not impressed with the way they play quarterback.
All right, I think it's a sneaky game that nobody's talking about. All right, Tennessee against Houston. This game is only a 40.5 spot. Spears is out. Wondering, Willie, whether that puts Pollard in. Will Levis actually had a pretty good week last week, and he is, kind of cheap. So if you don't want to go with, Tommy Cutlets, you could look at Will Levis. Calvin Ridley's in play, Nico Collins, or are you just fading this game altogether, Willie?
This will be a no thank you on this one. I'll let everybody else chase what they did to Dallas last week, but this will be a no thank you for me.
Swami, is it a no thank you for you?
Doc, not just no, but hell no, Doc. It's not.
What about Joe Mixon? What about Joe Mixon?
I think the way Mixon's playing, he's probably top 3 right now in the league. So you could make a case for Mixon. You could make a case for probably Nico, but it just don't feel like Tennessee's going to bring it up. But let's just say they did. Let's just go with your theory. Then okay, then you must like either Calvin Ridley or your guy Westbrook. You got to take something if you think it's going to be that type of game. But I'm with Willie. I would say no, thank you. Even Pollard would become a man of interest in some game where it's some points, but I can't see it though.
All right, let's get out of this game. Let's get to New England against Miami. In Miami, New England plays a lot of man defense. You don't want to play man defense against the Cheetah, Willie Walls. You don't want to do that. Who he feels like he's getting hotter and hotter and hotter. Is this the week that you want the Dolphins stack, which I know is showing up in Sims, right? The Sims love Tua. They love Achan. They love Tyreek. Are you playing this stack?
I tell you what, my core will be Achan for sure. I'm going to have Achan, and I'm going to have me a spice of. I'm gonna have me a little. I'm gonna have the cheetah too. I'm gonna have some of the cheetah because he's due. and they're going against the Patriots. And, I can see him going deep for a 70-yarder. And the offense runs smoother when Tua's in the game. And New England is very gracious to running back receivers. So I'm not mad at Tua in this game, but definitely the guy that's going to be a core for me will be Achan. He's definitely going to be a core for me.
Swami
And I
is
think Waddle. When are we going to get something from Waddle?
Interesting.
When are we going to get something for Waddle? But the guy I'm really interested in, man, that tight end's been balling. Whew.
Jonu?
Yeah, he's been balling, man. He's been balling.
I have 4 letters for Jonu this week. Fade. Fade. Fade.
I just say he's been balling. And he had a good game the last time. He's been balling.
Swami, you like Hunter Henry? You like anybody in the Patriots? You like Achan as much as Willie? What do you like here?
Doc, I think I'm not mad at Achan. I'm just not on him. He won't be the core for me. He's okay. It's something about that Dolphins offense that is, I don't know against these Patriots. I'm going to just say I don't know against these Patriots. But if I would probably lean more towards you with Hill than I am to Achan. I think their price is the same. If I had to pick one, I would say I'm probably leaning Hill. I think I'm with you with Smith. I think he is the prime candidate. If I tell people out there in football fantasy land that I would stay away from Mr. Smith, he is FADE. And then maybe Stevenson, maybe some of your guys that you've been calling right. I'm curious to who you got this week. So I would say maybe Stevenson, Henry, and it's a coin flip, but I'm going to say maybe Douglas. But I don't love the New England side of it. But I do.
You like my Kendrick Bourne call from last week, didn't you?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Sometimes you have to bench a guy, like Willie said. You got to bench a guy, and they come back and they play well. I think Perma is dead right, by the way. Love Hunter Henry this week. I think people won't play him. I think he's a great, great spot. All right. Dallas and the Willie Walls Commanders. Commanders are favored by 10.5, Willie. Jaden Daniels supposedly healthy. Brian Robinson feels like a smash spot. Terry McLaurin hasn't done a lot, but maybe this is a week he does. Noah Brown coming back. Schoonmaker is going to be 2.5K. You playing pieces in this game, or you stacking this game?
I'm not really stacking this game, but I am interested in Schoonmaker. I think he's a very interesting target. I mean, I think he goes to his tight end, and he's mid-price, and at 2,500. So I do have an interest in him. And I think Robertson is in play going against the Dallas defense. But something's off with McDaniel. I think McDaniel still got that rib situation going on, and therefore, I'm not going to be getting to a lot of McDaniels this game. I think that I just hope for some reason, this is I know the Cowboys have been bad, but man, it's something about this game that don't have me feeling comfortable. I mean, in this game because. The Commanders have come back to the pack a little bit. I think they're going to win this game, but it's not going to be as easy as people might think. And I'm kind of scared of it. I don't like this kind of game, when they're playing here. But I think Robinson is definitely playing. I like Shoemaker. I like the tight end for Dallas.
Swami, Brian Robinson feels too easy to click. It feels like in some contests he's going to be 40% owned. Are we in on Robinson? Are we in on Jaden Daniels, who supposedly is better, even though Willie's still worried about the injury? What are you thinking about this game?
I think I'm in on Robinson. I think the Shoemaker might he's very close to a lock. He feels like a free square, even though it's a week with some decent tight end matchups out there. That 2,500. You assume that he's going to be getting some targets as Lamb's going to be getting some interest. It is the Commanders. They don't necessarily play tight end that well, so it's got a favorable matchup. So there's a lot of interest in him and Robinson. I'm gonna disagree with Willie about the Commanders coming back to the pack. They just played a couple of tough teams over the last couple of weeks. and they played them, I thought, pretty well. I think it came down to in the Eagles game, I think they made a mistake by not kicking the field goal in that game, and then it kind of blew out with Barkley going nuts. And then they were right there in the game with the Steelers. So I think they'll show this week that even though the Cowboys are playing hard, and I know what Willie means with that matchup between them two, but I just feel like this week at home is the time for them to put together a little bit of offense, and Robinson should probably score once or twice.
Willie, in the old days, they used to call this, Cowboys-Redskins week. It's always a messy game. So I understand why people in the D.C. area are a little worried there. You always got to worry.
Yeah.
All right. Minnesota against Chicago, 39.5. Low-scoring game. Minnesota is going to bring the blitz. Caleb Williams is going to be like, I'm going to throw the ball on the ground. I don't know. Or is he going to throw it to Roma Dunze? Or is he going to throw it to DJ Moore? Keenan Allen looks hurt. DeAndre Swift in a bad spot. On the other side, Willie, you got Jefferson, who hasn't really, had the explosive game in a while. Are you playing anybody? I'm feeling a pass here for me.
I'd rather play Lionel Jefferson or the Jeffersons than play that damn Jefferson. Listen, no thank you. Or no thank you. I'm not taking no. You could. This game don't exist to me. Pass. Swami, you go ahead and take what you want out of this game.
Swami Permar says Minnesota defense. What are you thinking?
I like Minnesota defense a lot, Doc, but I did wake up kind of feeling like you. Is something about this game that just feels like it could have some fantasy goodness? And the folks that came to mind was Moore, Jefferson, Hockenson, and then it was Swift had a little question mark next to him, so I think that's why the other running back. I'm gonna stay away from that, but I'm thinking Moore, I'm thinking Jefferson, I'm thinking Hockenson. There's something in this game. It feels sneaky. I do like the defenses, probably more than I like the offenses, but Doc, it feels like it's something that's sneaky.
All right, hold on, Swami. You're playing 20 lineups. How many Bears, Vikings are you putting in your 20 lineups?
If I'm playing 20 lineups, I could play Jefferson in 10. I could play Moore in 5.
You could or you will?
Well, I'm not playing 20, but if I was playing 20, I would. I'm going to probably play 3 like you, Doc.
Listen, you really want to put that much out of your 3? You're putting Jefferson and Moore in 1?
I like Jefferson more than you guys do, for sure. Because Jefferson, again, is that thing that you say, Doc. When I want to lean forward, I want to lean forward on guys who can give me 30 and 40. You guys want to lean forward on guys who we hope get 30 snaps. Like, that's the difference.
What about Odunze getting more love with the new offensive coordinator at Thomas Brown? He's 4,800. It's a cheap way to get a part of this game. Willie's a no, Swami. Are you a yes or are you a no on this one too?
I'm not mad at Odunze. I would say he's a GPP play. We know what he can do. He could be an unsung hero for them in this game with a couple of big plays. But Williams is going to have to play better for me to like, any of the receivers. But Moore just felt like somebody who could. I think Moore has played well against the Vikings, and Jefferson has played well against the Bears.
All right, Willie. Next game here is Kansas City against Carolina. Kansas City is a 10.5-point favorite. And this has the makings of last week where, the Lions played the Jaguars and they just put the 52 burger on them. Maybe Andy Reid's like, you know what? I don't like how our offense has looked. Maybe this is a good week to put the 42 spot on. Maybe Patrick Mahomes is throwing 3 touchdowns. Maybe it's Travis Kelce. Maybe it's D-Hop. Maybe it's Hunt because Pacheco's not playing. Can you see a 40-point spot for the Chiefs this week?
No. I mean, honestly, I'm looking at the offense, man, and something ain't right. But I'll say this. I think the X receiver is very interesting to me in this game instead of Hopkins. I know I've been on Hopkins, but I was on the dude last week. I think he's interesting. I think Hunt. Now, is what's his name coming back? Is he coming back?
Pacheco's not coming back.
He's not coming back. DraftKings did something with the price. Did you see some of the prices on the running backs that they had? You see Hunt is $5,700.
Right, begging you to take him.
Yeah, begging you to take him. It's something about Kansas City. I just don't. I just don't trust Kansas City. Honestly, I mean, I get it. They play what they playing, but I'm going to have a little bit. I'm going to have a little bit of the game, but I mean, the guy that I'll be more interested in anybody would be Hunt. As the running back. But I don't want to bring nobody back from Carolina. I think Kansas City's defense is going to keep them in check. And I'm a Hubbard guy, but I ain't a Hubbard guy this week. So I just think that I'm not on Kansas City. I'm sorry. Yeah, y'all can have Kansas City. I don't think it's going to be a competitive game like that. That's why it's not going to be no back and forth. That's why I'm not interested. Guy I'll be interested in is in Hunt more than anybody.
So, I mean, I don't think there's going to be back and forth either. I think Chiefs are going to put up 42 points and the Panthers are going to put up 6. Are you playing the Chiefs?
I agree. But I'm thinking like you, this is the week for the Chiefs to start to make that push towards the playoffs. They need to take a game like this and make a statement, sort of like what the Lions did. They have to score more than 30 points this week. They need to get in the end zone at least 4 times. I think Hunt is in play. I think Mahomes is in play. And the only piece I don't have figured out right now is it going to be Kelsey or is it going to be Hopkins or is it going to be Worthy? But I'm definitely sure on those 2 pieces.
All right, just a couple of quick questions for people. Eric says, you guys think Daniel Jones ends up in San Francisco if Purdy's injury is bad? Willie, yes or no to that?
And Michael Jackson's looking for you. So what?
I mean, that's possible. It's entertaining, but I don't know if it means anything. It's a tree falling in the forest 100 miles from society.
I'd rather see Daniel Jones maybe go to the Raiders or go to the Lions. How about that? Be the backup to Jared Goff and the Lions. Get yourself a ring. All right.
It's got to be a CFL team, Doc, that needs a quarterback.
That's true. Oh, the Edmonton Eskimos. True.
Yeah.
All right. Perma asked me about Noah Gray. Perma, let me just tell you something. If Travis Kelce would ever get hurt, Noah Gray is a top 5 tight end. That's how good he is. And he'd be a must play for me every week in DFS. But Travis Kelce's still there. So he's like a 3 reception guy. All right. Denver and the Raiders, I'm calling it here. I don't know if I'm calling for the upset, but I'm calling for this game to be a whole lot closer than anybody thinks. Swami's giving me the stink eye like I'm nuts, but Denver's been playing so well that in the NFL, when it goes like this, you know that this is coming. And the Raiders have been really bad. Is this the one week that they played decently, Swami? And is there anybody you're playing in this game?
Well, Doc, let me ask you your first question. Not just no, Doc, but hell no. The Raiders don't have enough. Got to put a little bit of respect on these Broncos, Doc. They're playing well. Nix has got that offense going. You've called it. You've been on him from the beginning, and he is playing well. Between the receivers, Valet, Sutton, they get Mims, they getting other folks involved now. They getting a little bit more production from the running back. He's got total command of that offense, and the defense is playing well. How are the Raiders? They would have to just go out and turn the ball over, 2 or 3 times for the Raiders to even have a shot. The Raiders are down, not just their first running back, not just their second running back. The only thing the Raiders have left, because I think Abdullah is going to probably lead the backfield. And from a value perspective, maybe, but I don't think so. And then you got Bowers, who is basically it. I know they joked that, maybe they should try to put Satan or somebody like that on Bowers. But anyway, they just don't have enough, Doc. I can't see it. Only thing they got going for them is that they're probably home. but other than that, they're in trouble. And I like the Broncos side of it. Mr. Nix might be a lock for me this week.
All right, Willie. Cortland Sutton does have a bad matchup. Permar's right. Javonte Williams looks like a good play, but Estime may play this week. I wouldn't play Javonte Williams if you paid me. Seriously, I will not play this guy because I do not trust it. Is there any play in this game you're playing, Willie?
I like the quarterback for Denver. Give me Mix. And I don't mind running that back with Bowers, on the other side. I don't mind that because he had a huge game, and that's the only way you're going to get the Broncos. You ain't going to do it through the receivers. It's going to be through that tight end. So, and I think they're going to be behind. So, But I love Nick. Like I said, that's why I was on Nick's last week. I'm on him this week. He's a great play. I mean, this guy the light is on. The light is on, and he might end up getting that Rookie of the Year over Jaden Daniels. And I think this guy is playing a good ball, and he can throw it to different guys. That's why I would take the quarterback. It could be anybody he could throw it to. So, but give me the quarterback, and if I'm going to run it back with anybody, it will be Bowers on the other side. But I am going to have a lot of Knicks. I just like a lot of Knicks. I might be playing a neck at Knicks.
So, I saw you shaking your head. Jaden Daniels is going to be Rookie of the Year. However, if Knicks makes the playoffs and Washington misses it and Knicks continues to play this well, maybe?
It's close enough where if for some reason the Commanders stumbled and the Broncos, rolled into the playoffs, it is possible. But right now is Daniels, to lose.
By the way, I am likely to play Amir Abdullah this week. I am. I'm likely to play him because I want that 4,300 because instead of taking Tommy DeVito, I'll put Abdullah. They'll be playing from behind. Maybe I get my 15 points that way, and then I could go pay up for other players. That's just a thought to change it up a little bit there. All right, Arizona, Seattle, 47.5 in a game, Willie, that you're smiling. I think that means they're really stacking some Cardinals or he's throwing back some Seahawks. Is this the game stack, Willie?
Yeah, I like players in this game. I love Big Jigma. I think Geno's a man of interest. Of course I love Connors. And I think McBride had a price shake down. I think McBride is interested on the other end. I like pieces in this game. So Connors and the Jigma would definitely be cores for me in this game here because I do like Connors. And I think I don't mind running lineup back, with the quarterback for Arizona. I think Arizona's playing better. They are really playing better. I like how they're playing offensively. And the only thing that gives me cause for pause on this is Arizona's defense has been playing pretty good lately. They've been balling, so I'm hoping that Gina will keep up. But I do like players in this game. I think they're affordable. I think this game is going to be a back and forth type of action. So that's why I like this game a lot.
Swami, you could go Kyler, you could go Connor, you could go Marvin, bring it back with JSN or DK, or both. You could be off to a real good start. Willie this could be the had to have it game, Swami.
I don't disagree. I think Willie on to something here. I think I know he mentioned Geno's got to keep up, but I think Geno won at least the last 3, maybe 4, and I think he's got at least 2 touchdowns in the last 3. So I think it's Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals that need to keep up, and they need to figure out how to keep this game, keep the pace in this game. And if they can, they're getting something from Harrison, some big plays from him. I like Connor a lot. Obviously, McBride is always a man of interest. And Murray, I could even see a stat coming out of this game. JSN, he feels like the no-brainer. It feels like Metcalf still probably going to get the coverage. If Seattle, if that's the side I'm more concerned about, Willie. If the Seattle side can do what they need to do, we get fantasy goodness in this game.
Yeah, I agree. And the prices are friendly. You know what I mean? Nobody's overpriced. That's why I said I don't mind Detroit and all that. I'm just looking at I'm just looking at this game, and I'm looking at. We always talk about pushback. I think it's going to be pushback in this game, so that's why I like both. I like both of these games. And listen, people talk about Geno all they want, but hey, he showed something against San Francisco. You know what I mean? Geno kept them there, and I like the way they played. And listen, the light has come on for this man. I love it, man. That boy's balling out, man, and I think Geno, that's his go-to guy now. And what I like about it, he's just not throwing a little short routes. He's got deeper routes. He's running deeper routes. So I definitely have interest in the game. And I don't care what people say about Connors. He hasn't had a 30-point game, but man, you keep getting me 22, 23 points, 21 points. I'm going to take it at that price point.
He is the most touchdown vultured right now, other than Saquon. He gets vultured a lot. So
a lot.
Hey, but guess who's like a 12-month-old baby and haven't got a touchdown, got to run a touchdown?
Trey McBride.
McBride. He's 12 months due. 12 months due.
Could you imagine walking around 12 months due? Baby would look like you, Willie. Your baby. All right, let's get to San Francisco and Green Bay. Brock Purdy pulled out.
Yeah.
Injured. So let's just talk Brandon Allen, 4K, 49ers offense. Swami, I mean, maybe you don't want Tommy Cullins. You're not interested. Can you get behind Allen?
Doc, I don't think so, man. And Jennings was a lock for me. Starting the week, Jennings was a lock for me. Come first look, and now there's a huge question mark. I would probably lean back more McCaffrey. They're going to have to lean on McCaffrey like a lot. He's got to prove it, Doc. This is Green Bay is a tough. This is not the game. Green Bay on the road. I don't know if that's your first start. He would have to really, Doc, it's tough. This will put a real question mark on the game. If Purdy, isn't in there, I don't think so.
Purdy's out. But let me ask you this. McCaffrey was more expensive last week. They dropped the price on him. You don't think Brandon Allen's going to throw the ball to McCaffrey 6, 7, 8 times?
I do, Doc. I mean, I would have to know a little bit more about Brandon Allen. I wish I would have had the time to look at some more film on him. I don't see it, Doc. He's no Purdy right now. I cannot see, and remember, it's not like the 49ers were clicking on all cylinders with Purdy. Now we're talking about taking Purdy out, and that's Purdy bad. Excuse me, Purdy bad.
That is Purdy bad.
Let me say this. If anybody will be able to do it, it's Shanahan with his play calling. You know what I'm saying? If anybody, so if I'm going to take a chance on a $4,000 quarterback, I will play, Allen over DeVito. You know what I mean? Because I have more confidence in the play calling of Shanahan to coach somebody up. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't mind, like, if you do one lineup, because now I don't know if I want McCaffrey at that price point, because I still think that he is not looking sharp McCaffrey. I still think he's fighting back from that. So, but I can see, I could definitely see him leaning on to a guy like Kittle. You know what I mean? Like a guy like Kittle, because that's what's normally when you got a new quarterback, that's going to be like one of his best friends, that tight end position. So I can see that, but I'm going to take a shot with him in a lineup and see how it works out. But I agree with you, Swami, about how it looks, but I think if anybody could coach somebody up, it's Shanahan.
By the way, Permar just wrote that if Trent Williams doesn't play, you can't play anybody. Williams missed practice today, guys.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Then oh, boy. Then I might be totally out, because if Trent ain't there,
Can we get behind Josh Jacobs?
Josh Jacobs is I think they're running the ball more to him. I'm not probably getting to him in this slate, but I know I'll be playing him in season long.
Jacobs plays well against the 49ers, true. Jacobs is at home, true. But if we're not getting enough on that other side, I'm just concerned Jacobs might be wearing warm-ups and Green Bay Packers apparel because he's been nursing some injuries. Every time I look, Wilson seems to be in there getting some snaps anyway. It just feels like a reason. If they're not getting pushed, is a good reason for him to, not be out there.
Fourth quarter, he's out.
Yeah,
All right, let's get to the Sunday night FanDuel hammer, guys. Philadelphia against the Rams. Devonta Smith is out. So, Swami, does that make A.J. Brown a man of interest to you? Dallas Goedert, a name we haven't said much on this show in recent weeks. Another one there, obviously Saquon. Kyron Williams, I don't think is a good play at all against the Eagles' run defense, who's looked good. I mean, it feels like there could be points, but I don't see a lot of plays for me, Swami. Do you see any plays for you?
I think it's because of the prices, right? It's so expensive. But on FanDuel, I do have some interest in Stafford's price. I think he's 7,200, 7,100, something like that. That's a very interesting price, especially if you can, find your piece that you like, whether you think it's Nakua, whether you think it's Cup coming back, and then maybe having Brown on the other side. That seems like a rock solid way to try to take down that slate on FanDuel, is having some combination of those guys. But you can just never rule out, Saquon and it hurts at this point because they seem like the 30-point guys. So I don't think you can go wrong with leaning towards that, but it's something about Stafford that feels interesting.
Willie, I feel like I don't want to fade it, but I don't want to pay up for it. I'm paying full price for something I don't want to pay full price for.
Well, I think you got some value too, because you got to remember, I think it's a receiver that they use. I'm trying to remember the name of this.
Johnny Wilson?
It's not.
Yeah. Yeah. I just think that you got some value in other spots that we could use on FanDuel to get up there. Because, see, listen, it's just like you needed part of that game on FanDuel last week to win. And I was on those games, and I think listen, man, Nakua is a baller. I love Nakua, man. I love Nakua. I don't mind having a Nakua AJ Brown. A stack fest. You understand what I'm saying? I don't mind having that. And I agree with Swami. I like Stafford. You know what I mean? Having a Stafford, AJ Brown, Nakua, I think that is a solid pair coming back. Coming back there. I think that is solid. I like that pairing.
Would you pay up for that?
You
Yeah.
know why I would pay up for it? Because you still got to respect like both teams and the way that they use the running back. So it's not like you can just focus on one guy. There's enough where you can't necessarily just focus on Nakua because they got other pieces. Same thing, even though with Devonta Smith out, you got to keep your eye on Ertz hitting these tight ends, Saquon running it right down. So you're not going to be able to just focus on Brown or just focus on Nakua, and that's what makes them even more interesting.
And listen, and I do, and you got it right, because when Smith is out, Goddard's in play. He is
definitely in play.
And so I don't mind having a Goddard, AJ Brown, or Goddard, AJ Brown, Nakua. I don't
think you can afford it. The numbers are right now. You'd be paying $8,500 for AJ Brown, $8,600 for Nakua. That is literally a small fortune.
I get it, but that's what makes it a contrarian opposite, that people are not going to do it.
There's contrarian, there's crazy. That's a little bit.
It could be as contrarian, but I think if what is Goddard's price on FanDuel?
Goddard's price on FanDuel. One moment, please. Please hold. Please continue. 6,100. Oh my God. I could get Schoonmaker for 4,500.
Well, listen, hey, that's how we get there. Schoonmaker at tight end at 4,500, right? Put him there. You play AJ Brown and Nakua. I don't care. They ball. Listen, Nakua's a baller. Going against Philadelphia, and you play Stafford at a reasonable price at 7,200.
Right. I see. He's reasonably priced. He is.
But if there's one piece that I feel like if you had to pick one and you could only pick one, I think it might be Brown, Doc. I think you're in a good spot.
I think so too. Especially with no Devonta Smith. All right. Willie Walls, I hand you this crisp $100 bill. I say go and do a single entry. What is your single entry, my friend?
Gino. What's his name? Jigba, whatever his name is.
JSN.
Running back with Connor and give me some McBride. That he's 12 months due. That is my stack of the night, sir.
Swami, what is your stack?
Dude, we got the results from your analysis from the last couple of weeks, or no? Gino is outrageous. All right, Doc. I'm gonna give you one obvious one. I think going back to Detroit, I think the same kind of demonstration they did last week, they could come out and put boot the neck again on the Colts this week. And so it is a lot to like about Detroit. But I'm going to stick with the one that we talked about. I don't think it's anything that the Panthers do that I would be concerned about. And I think I like that Hunt, Mahomes, And I'm gonna go with my guy Travis because last week he was so bad over even Hopkins this week. I think it's something interesting about them for Chris Honey and 8 teams. I think will put up some points, and you want 4 or 5 touchdowns, people. You're not interested in 2. They're not gonna get them.
Love the Chiefs stack, Swami. Love it. I love the Arizona game. I just don't know what pieces I want outside of Connor. Right? I know I want the game. I know I want Connor. The rest I haven't figured out yet. The Chiefs are scoring 4 touchdowns, maybe 5. Right? Maybe 5. So it's Mahomes, it's Hunt. It may even be Hopkins and Kelsey, but then I think I diluted a little bit. But I will guarantee that one of my 3 lineups will be Anthony Richardson and bring it back with Amon-Ra St. Brown. That would be my stack.
That's not crazy, though. That's not crazy.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, we've done crazier.
Now, I don't know whether to bring Pearson or Downs in. I'm not against Downs, but I feel like I'm paying a lot for him. But definitely Richardson.
For Richardson to get there, he's got to run it in. I'm okay with him being naked. And then if he's doing anything, St. Brown's in play for sure.
Right. For sure. All right. Balls to the walls call from Willie Walls. Who is your man, my man?
I got 2 of them. It's going to be I told you I'm playing Shoemaker at 2,500. And I like Mr. Worthy. I think they're going to try to work some things out because in order for
James Worthy?
No. But I just think in order for Kansas City to do what they need to do, they're going to have to make him a part of their offense. And I think this is a great display, a great chance against Carolina to get him off, for the day. So give me the X-Man.
Swami?
So I think first, Doctor, just a point of clarity, point of order, baby. Willie seems to think that balls to the walls mean cheap bastard to the walls, or chalk play to the walls, or obvious play to the walls.
So who's obvious? Who is obvious, sir?
It's not the 2,500 Shoemaker. It takes no balls to play a minimum price tight end in a great match.
I'm talking about the Kansas City guy. It don't matter. But if he's a plays to play, you playing him. You said he's almost locked in.
That means it's not a balls to the walls.
Yeah. But Worthy is.
Worthy is. Nobody's playing Worthy in that game.
Yeah, nobody's playing Worthy, Doc. I'll give him Worthy, Doc, but that's more like you know what to the walls.
Ball to the wall, not balls. Ball to the wall.
It stinks.
Half a ball.
Not balls. I'll tell you that. So, Doc, somebody who I'm thinking about that I still feel like these $4,000 quarterbacks that you brought up are where I want to go. Right? So I'm going to give you some real kahunas here.
Somebody eating some Italian food this week?
I'm thinking Mr. Slayton and Mr. Jennings are still in play. Nobody's thinking about Slayton, which is why I'm interested in Slayton. If Tampa then shows up because now they got Mr. Evans, this game has a little bit of points. It has a little bit of pace. Tracy White involved. Otten Neighbors is involved. So here's the piece that I'm thinking might be going a little bit underneath the radar. You don't have to play as much as Neighbors and put yourself at risk. And maybe even on one play, getting single coverage, Mr. Slayton pays off. And then Mr. Jennings, because I think Allen is still probably decent in those kind of intermediate routes and stuff like that. But my balls to the walls call. Swami says, Mr. Moore in Chicago.
DJ Moore. Interesting. Interesting.
Swami says.
Yeah, Swami says people that should be, pretty good. It don't sound like a lot of balls to me, sir. I mean, are you kidding me?
That's why I said you needed some clarity. You seem to think it's cheap guy
for Worthy, but then you're gonna say DJ Moore, who came alive last week. Is that ballsy?
Yes.
All right, I got 2.5 for you.
Okay.
2.5. One, I'm definitely playing Amir Abdullah.
Yeah, that's balls.
Madison and Zamir White are both doubtful. They're going to be behind.
Whoa.
Right. That's why. That's why I mentioned that already. That's why
I didn't. I never see. That's a whole. Wow. Whoa.
And they're going to be behind. So, he's going to catch 5 I think he's a lock for 13 points that I could get for
No. See,
4,300.
I did not know that they were out because he will be in lineups. I didn't know that.
I just said it, but 13 is more points than I would have had White or.
But Abdullah can catch. He can catch. He's really good out of the backfield catching the ball.
You don't think Madison and White, they weren't.
All right, give me this. 5 catches for 40 yards, 10 rushes for 30 yards.
But what he is he's a return guy, though, right? Didn't he return kickoffs or something? Did he do that, Abdullah?
He can. I mean, what, do you want to play Dylan Lobb? I don't like Dylan Lobb.
No. What I'm saying is, I don't mind getting a returner out in the open.
Right.
He might be able to break something. You
right.
know, that's why I don't mind it. Now, if I knew that they were out, he definitely would have been a man of my interest because at 4,300 is yeah.
But that does not make a balls to the walls call.
But Dylan Lobb may be, right? He's the other guy there that they drafted. I think Abdullah is a smart play. And here's the other one. Nobody's playing this one except for me and maybe my boy Heat Override. Jatavion Sanders.
That's a little more of a balls to the walls, but they expected to be down. He's been involved. All right, Doc, I'll give you that.
Chiefs terrible against tight ends.
I want to make 2 distinctions, Doc, if you will. One is that maybe we need a segment where we can go cheap bastard, so that way Walls won't confuse it with balls to the walls, and then he can get that cheap bastard out the way. See, so that would be helpful to the folks out there if we did a cheap.
All right, so we will add the cheap bastard section next week.
Yeah, let's just do a cheap bastard so he can stop being confused by that. I don't even know why that's.
Oh, and by the way, Adam Thielen is returning.
And then the second segment, Doc, is ambulance chasing, right? So again, we can get away from balls to the walls. So we can chase the ambulance, we can put it a cheap bastard, but we can still give a balls to the walls call. And I think that'll help us out, Doc, because some kind of way we get confused and that all becomes one thing. And I don't think that's helpful to the folks.
I love the cheap bastard one. I think that should be an absolute part of this show from now on. Thank you, Swami.
Because you're a cheap bastard, you bastard.
All right, our show is done. By the way, happy Thanksgiving to my friends Willie and Odell. I hope you and your families have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you guys enjoy the games and time with your families.
Yeah, what games are going to be on this Thanksgiving? Who do they got on?
I think it's Detroit, Chicago, Giants, Dallas, and the third one I can't remember.
Ooh, the Giants and Dallas.
It's Green Bay, Miami in the night game.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, oh my God, man! Listen, that's the time to eat your turkey because there's going to be turkey playing with Dallas and the Giants are playing. That's horrible.
Or it's a good time to take a nap after you eat your turkey.
You got that right. Listen,
I bet these games be surprisingly decent though. There's something about it, right? You're talking about Dallas and New York. They're not necessarily playing well, but it feels like it could be. It's going to be $1 million out there on the line. And then you got Chicago, Detroit. That's probably not going to be competitive. But then Green Bay and Miami, it feels like that could be interesting too. I'm just saying the 4 and 8, I think they can be interesting.
The Green Bay Miami game is going to be very
interesting. Could be bad weather.
They're playing. They're playing at Green Bay.
And by the way, isn't DraftKings doing a $5 to win $1 million?
I think so.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got a ticket already.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. So, people are going to be putting in $100 playing, playing a bunch of lineups, and hopefully somebody wins a cool $1 million on Thanksgiving.
It's us versus the machine, Doc. I'm okay. I want all the artificial intelligence, the lineup builders. Bring it in. We want all the smoke, Doc. Terminator 2.
There you have it. All right, guys. We wish you much luck this week. For Doc, Willie, and Swami, we tell you to be well and take care.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care. Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.